What is up, everybody? This is your boy Metahuman Macaluco, and today is going to be a very special day. Why? Because I decided to upload this particular video today. Now, in this video, I'm going to be going ahead and telling you guys my top 10 favorite DC comic book superheroes. That's right, DC comic book superheroes. Now, fun fact, what I'm saying is actually rather redundant. And the reason why I say that is because DC in itself already means Detective Comics. So when we're all saying DC Comics, we're really saying Detective Comics. But let me not get into technicalities right now. So this right here is the current, I believe, either 2023 or 2024 DC comic book encyclopedia that you can get at any bookstore. And this is what I use for my resources in today's video to back up my personal opinions. If you guys feel as if I miss any particular superhero, or it may not be appreciative of a particular superhero, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's get to it. Number 10. Well, I'm repping Green Lantern for a reason. John Stewart. Why John Stewart out of all the Green Lanterns in particular? You have Hal Jordan, you have Kyle Rayner, okay, you have Guy Gardner, you have Simon Baz, you have Jessica something, I forgot her last name. I think it's Ruiz. But the reality is, my friends, is that John Stewart has the most craziest imagination out of all the Green Lanterns. Alright? This guy can quite literally think of anything on a whim. Now, to be fair, the other guys, they do too, but they're not as, well, let's just say John is a little more resilient, he's a little more thorough with his work, he's a little more diligent and honorable than the other human Green Lanterns. You know, there's a reason why he's in the animated series. So, moving on to number 9, Batman. Now, why is he so far on the list? Well, he's kind of overrated, but he is everyone's favorite superhero for a good reason. World's greatest detective, knows exactly 127 martial arts, knows almost every language, master interrogator. Dude, he's scary. He's a very scary person. Oh, man. Moving on to number 8.
A few moments later.
Superman. Now, why is Superman just one above Batman? Well, let's see. I actually really respect Blue Boy Scout Superman. True blue, truth, justice for all. Come on now. And I'm gonna be frank with y'all. I'm so tired of this new trope with evil Superman. You know, Homelander exists, Omni-Man exists, Marvel has like 4 different evil Supermen. DC has made a plethora of their own evil Supermen, Injustice Superman, Red Sun, etc. We need more Superman similar to All-Star Superman. Because the thing about Superman is that when we read Superman, we kind of want to follow through with his, not necessarily an ideology, but just a way of life and just helping people, bro. You know, like, alright, cool. I saved the day. Great. Let's move on with life. Honestly, that's something we should all strive for and why we should all read Superman every now and then. Anyway, this one is actually going to be quite the doozy for you guys. And you guys are going to, you know, start doing your little Google clicking and clacking. Number 7 is The Karate Kid. And no, I'm not talking about no Ralph Macchio. I'm talking about the Karate Kid from DC Comics. Now, he's actually a member of the Legion of Superheroes, a group of superheroes from the future who actually time traveled back to the past when Superman was a teenager and recruited him into their little organization. And out of all, it's a whole group. It's a whole plethora of these overpowered metahumans. Okay. Karate Kid stands out the most because he's literally just the only like martial artist, like strict martial artist out of all of them. Dude is literally DC Comics Shang-Chi or Iron Fist, or could go up against them, rather. Number 6, Swamp Thing. Now, if you have especially read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, you know how intense and crazy this story gets. So, pretty generic, you know, dude's a scientist, he's chilling in Everglades swamp, criminals, toxic waste, boom. But, it gets kind of crazy because you would think he would just be a swamp monster and be left at that. This guy becomes a literal guardian of the earth, controlling nature, or in what DC Comics calls the green. And so, you know, he's having to do little interrogations with Aquaman and Poison Ivy and whatnot and what have you. So, you know, my man's not exactly chilling, but at the same time, you know, he's a pretty cool guy. Just don't litter in his environment. Don't be an asshole to the environment and your Gucci gang. You know, he's kind of like Captain Planet, just a little more violent. Number 5 on the list. Brother Power, the Geek. Now a lot of you are going to start being like, alright, now you're just pulling names out of your ass. No, my friends. Brother Power, the Geek is a very real comic book superhero. His origin's a little silly, but I personally like the concept and the principle of the character. So Brother Power, the Geek is actually a mall mannequin that got brought to life via lightning bolt. Now, you would think a mall mannequin wouldn't have so much character development, but dude, Brother Power the Geek is just ridiculous, right? He's superhuman strength, superhuman invulnerability. He's actually a lot smarter than he looks. He actually became this close to becoming president, and he was actually DC Comic Books' representation of the hippie movement of the 1960s. So, it's good to see that DC Comics really wanted to make the personification of such a thing. And that's why I really, you know, fuck with Brother Power the Geek heavy. Anyway, number 4. This one might be a little more understandable. Martian Manhunter. Come on now. He's a Martian. He's the last man, or last Martian. That's why he's tight-lipped with Superman like this. Bro is just ever so slightly OP. You know, he's stretching, he's regenerating, he's got like 2 different forms. Forget about it. And another thing about this guy too, he's the most important member of the Justice League. He has helped form every single version of the Justice League to have ever existed. Justice League of America, Justice Society of America, Justice League Detroit. Yes, there is a Justice League Detroit. You can look that shit up. But he's an essential figure. Very essential figure. You know? Without him, DC would be just... And not even just DC. The Justice League specifically, since they pretty much encompass the entire DC universe. But moving on to number 3 on my list, Black Lightning. Black Lightning is cool as hell. Let me tell you about Black Lightning. Okay, he's from Metropolis. He's not from a very great part of Metropolis, but this guy decided, you know what, it's time to clean up the streets, time to get rid of all the drug dealers, all the drug kingpins, because they're destroying our neighborhood, they're ruining our friends, they're ruining our family. I have electric powers, and he's actually a part of Batman's first outside team of the Justice League, the Outsiders. Now, I could get into a whole other bit about that in a completely different video, but we must move on to number 2, Flash. Now, which one are you gonna say? Because honestly, whether it's Barry Allen or Wally West, don't get me wrong, 2 vastly different people, but they're both pretty great Flashes. So, and they're great Flashes for different reasons, you know. One started off as a sidekick and became the main guy, and one guy was already the main guy, you know. And before I get some butthurt DC nerd in my comments, yes, I know about Jay Garrick, the OG Flash. Everyone knows about him. Relax. Alright? But I like Flash. I like the concept of Flash. Time traveler. Unintentional time traveler, but time traveler nonetheless. And superhuman speed, bro. Just boom, boom. Come on. And plus, he's actually a really great guy. Saving lives and whatnot. Now, before I get to my number 1, I'm going to list some honorable mentions that I really did heavily consider putting on my list, but I just simply chose not to. And those individuals are Red Tornado, Static Shock, Grifter, Plastic Man, Dr. Fate, Wonder Woman, Robot Man, Negative Man, Zatanna, Vixen, Wannabes, and Bronze Tiger. Those are my honorable mentions. Now, let me tell you about the real number 1, my personal favorite DC superhero. Vic Sage, the Question. Now, who is the Question? Well, this guy is a very important key character. Okay? He actually didn't start off as a DC comic book character. He started off on another company called Charlton. And now him, Peacemaker, funny enough, Captain Atom, and Blue Beetle were all owned by this publication company. And they all got bought out by DC. And now thankfully DC very heavily utilizes all 4 of these characters. Blue Beetle, I mean, you know, you got Robbie Reyes. That's Ghost Rider. I'm sorry. Jaime Reyes. You got Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes, chilling, but he's not the same as Ted Kord, sadly enough. I'm digressing from the point. The Question is so cool is that he inspired a Rorschach of the Watchmen. I mean, come on. And let me not even get, alright, I didn't even get into it yet. If you guys are looking for a very good particular Question story, it's this one. This one is super gritty. It's nice. It's the Question fighting corruption. He's got Batman and Green Arrow helping him. Come on now. That's solid. But anyways, guys. Next time we come back to this, I'm going to come back with the Green Lantern drip once again, including the Green Lantern ring. And I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite DC supervillains. That's right. Will this list be as ridiculous as this list? Will it be just as good? Do you guys think I am a complete and total moron? Or you guys agree with me? Please, this is what the comments are for. Let me know. And as always, stay true, fellow to yourselves, fellow can't speak. I'm gonna say this one more time. Stay true to yourselves, fellow metahumans.